Welcome to the very first episode of the Tech Couples podcast. I'm Andy, a full stack web developer, and this is
Sabrina, mom, wife, and entrepreneur.
we're here to demystify the nature of websites, help you understand your website better. Our goal at the end of the day is to make sure your website is better, faster, and smarter. And this week's topic,
We'll be discussing the Canada Post strike and how it has affected businesses. Andy, can you tell me a little bit about the Canada Post strike and what's it all about?
the Canada Post strike started November 15th. Depending on when you're listening to this podcast, it could be happening right now or it might have ended. But as of right now, it's affecting a lot of businesses. At the end of the day, the dispute over Canada Post is that workers say they're not being paid enough. Canada Post says they're losing millions. The truth is somewhere there. I don't want to get into the politics of it. I don't know all the details. Do you have any thoughts?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I think they should come to a resolution pretty quick here.
Yeah, I believe we do know some people striking, right?
Yes, we definitely do. It's also affecting small businesses, larger businesses, parcels not being shipped out, nothing going in the mail. On that scale, what could you say? Like, what's your thoughts about how it's affecting e-commerce's websites? And is there anything that we can do to assist our clients to make sure it all goes smoothly?
Yeah, so checkout is a crucial part of all e-commerce. Once you check out, there you'll choose a shipping option. Canada Post ships across Canada. It's by far the largest shipper in Canada. What you're seeing now, and a lot of businesses see it, is you need an alternative shipping system to Canada Post. We do have some options out there: UPS, FedEx, Purelator, which is actually owned by Canada Post but operates independently, not a part of the strike. And you're seeing a lot of e-commerces transition pretty quickly, right? I'm sure when the strike did happen, I believe for us at our company was, you can remember quite vividly, was Monday morning, getting a bunch of WhatsApp messages and emails really quickly, right? All customers freaking out because their e-commerces aren't working.
That was actually, if you recall, it was actually Saturday night around 10 o'clock when they realized the strike had
Was it?
happened. Yes, it was Friday evening the strike had happened and took in place. And then when their workers checked off,
Right.
and then it was all hell hit loose, all hands on deck for the afternoon, evening, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even getting some more messages coming in. So, as running this company together, we're definitely working a lot of weekends, making sure everything goes smooth. That's what happens in small businesses here.
Yeah, you're right. The strike was already aware of on Friday that, hey, you know what, they needed to switch some sort of shipping system by Monday, right? No, it's complicated. There's a lot of different systems out there. There isn't like a perfect answer. Canada Post is one of the more affordable options,
Very much so, yes.
right? And it does ship to some parts of Canada that nowhere else goes to, right? Do you have any thoughts? Do you think the strike will end anytime soon?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I really hope so for everybody's sake with the Christmas around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, we've now got everything, all the hiccups have come through and everything's running smoothly. But on the tech side, would you say it was difficult? Did you find it difficult to add all these different providers in? I mean, I don't see the behind the scenes of that type of stuff. How do you feel that all went? Was it smooth? Was there hiccups? How does everyone operate that?
It's every business has their own, decision makers on how they'll implement which provider that they want to go with, which courier makes sense for them, how long will it take. I'm sure there were customers for just about every e-commerce that were unhappy in somehow, right? Because there's now been delays, possibly changes in price. Some orders just won't even be able to make it to the customer anymore now because of the strike. So running our company, our goal is to help our customers implement whatever system that makes sense for them. I remember we did implement, I think it was Purelator, and the one company we work with said, "Hey, we want to implement this system," and then suddenly we realized, oh wow, the cost of shipping tripled,
Yes, it did.
right? So it's Canada Post, say what you want about them. Maybe some people don't like them. They did provide low cost shipping across Canada, right?
Yes. So when you were talking about adding different providers, was it easy to add that onto the e-commerce websites?
Yeah, it's a business decision on which ones that they want to implement. But in terms of implementing itself, it only takes a few hours of work on our end. But it's really the logistics on the business end, figuring out, hey, where are they going to use, which ones they're going to use, what price they want to go with. there are some automatic systems that we can use to detect and, hey, figure out automatic pricing. But, although sometimes it is, on the business to kind of figure out some of this stuff too, right?
Yeah,
So it's definitely all hands on deck the moment the strike went out.
for sure, for sure. Which is, I mean, I didn't know too much about it, but running on WordPress, do you think that that made it easier to be able to add these different providers in as they were already using Canada Post and they switched up? Was it pretty easy because of WordPress?
Yeah. But there's various systems. WordPress makes it very simple to change plugins. There's a lot of different plugins on WordPress. WordPress is the king of plugins right now. Some free, some paid. I don't want to bring up any particular ones right now, but we definitely use some plugins that'll allow for relatively easy switching between one career to another. But Canada Post being on a strike, I really think the biggest issue was, let's say before you're Canada Post, now you want to use FedEx. Doesn't necessarily mean that your package will be able to go to where the Canada Post was going to go. Now suddenly you might need two different systems, right? Canada Post and UPS or DHL, right? There's Purelator. There's many different options now, right? So there isn't one size fits all.
And WordPress allows you to have multiple on the site at once. Is that right then?
Yeah. You can have multiple different
Okay.
career checkouts, right?
That's good to know. Yes. Definitely WordPress has got a lot of different utilized skills there. That definitely helps out that way.
Okay.
Did you have any final thoughts on the strike and everything that's going on?
No, I do have my general opinion on like how all of this should go, but at the same time, I don't know how much of it is true, right? That, you hear, hey, hey, Canada Post is losing hundreds of millions of dollars. The workers are like, hey, you know what? No, we're not. It's the executives that are overpaid. Maybe, right? How much of it is true? Well, we'll know in a couple of years, right?
Yeah. So I guess closing out statement is we are waiting to see the end result.
All right. And maybe we should start a podcast where we just talk about Canada Post all the time.
Don't know how that would go. Don't
Yeah.
know how that would go. We have
Right.
good reviews and bad reviews, but we'll feel it out. We'll feel it out.
Yeah. All right. Until next time.
Until next time, Andy and Sabrina, the podcast tech couple out. Till next time.